please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
To those guests who've just joined us, welcome. Our next stop is the Magic Kingdom. For those of you standing, please hold on to the handrails throughout our journey and stay clear of the doors. Stay clear of the doors. Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching our station at the entrance to Main Street, USA.
Welcome aboard the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. This is Justin Monorail, and this is episode number 217 of the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. Today is September 2nd, 2024. September is here, and that means food and wine. It means Halloween Horror Nights. It means football. It's Labor Day. It's great. This is one of the best weekends ever. And I have my monorail co-pilots here to help me celebrate this Labor Day the way we need to. And let us welcome in, starting with the youngest of the group, the non-AARP member. It's Stephers. Stephers, welcome to the monorail. How are you doing? What's it like to be young?
You know what's funny? Is I went out with our favorite member of the monorail fam, Katrina, yesterday. Well, yesterday when we were recording. And we had this whole conversation about age, and we didn't get carded when we got drinks at the bar. And I said, we've reached the age where we just look like we're of age. And then I had the realization that people born in the 2000s are 21 now. And that's the really scary realization. Like, they don't even need to look past the last two numbers of my year anymore. They just, the 19, you're old, gotta go. And I said, oh no.
Yep, it's true.
Yeah, I don't remember what the question was, but I'm doing great. I originally wasn't wearing a hat, and then y'all were wearing hats. And y'all can't see, but my friend is wearing a hat. We're all just wearing hats, and we're doing great.
We're a monorail with hats.
I'm doing great. I'm tired.
Glad to have you, Stephers, and I'm glad you got on board with the Hat Club. It's good. It's good for us, the other two members, the older members. Number one, because like I said, we didn't shower this morning, so we got to cover up the hair. But also, we're getting old. The male pattern baldness is setting in. But maybe not for the final member of the monorail family. I mean, he likes to argue back. His hairline is going back too. It's Landon the Dawsdone. The shock on his face is beautiful. Come on, you're getting old too. Just join the club.
Yeah, getting old and going bald are two different things. First of all, how dare you? I was going to do you a favor and not swear on this episode so you didn't have to edit, but...
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Sir.
Don't do it.
Sir.
Don't
Goblin
do it.
ding dongs, that is disrespectful.
It is not a swear word. Hilarious. And it is the movement taking over the nation, but not a swear word. Anyway, coming to you from the isolation station, beloved, it's me, it's the DOZ, Landon the Dawsdone, and it's a Monday morning. You know what that means. Jay mentioned it is Labor Day weekend. College football season's kicked off. Officially, I know we did week 0. It's now week 1. Food and wine's going on at Epcot. Something else is happening. But today is Labor Day. I got the day off of work, so you know what that means? I'm going to have me an adult beverage, just appropriately enough for college football. A Yeehaw Vol Lager made right here in Rocky Top, East Tennessee, baby. So let's get this podcast started, y'all.
It's a little bit of a Pass Holder Lounge crossover right here. Landon, have you had these before? And if so, how are they?
Yeah, I actually picked up a 6-pack for the game as we're recording this yesterday, where Tennessee dropped a very nice 69 points on the University of Tennessee Chattanooga Mocs to their 3. And I had a couple during the game. They taste like a lager. It's a high quality lager. I would recommend it if you dig a lager. It's good stuff.
Yeah, good. Glad to hear it. I'll have to try to snag some when I get into town, hopefully, maybe in November.
It tastes like victory.
Well, yeah. Well, I think it's appropriate that you're cracking open a drink. You know, a couple weeks ago when it was all just me, all by myself on the monorail, I did announce that we had officially received the Epcot International Food and Wine Foodie Guide, but I held off on talking about it because I didn't have my favorite monorail co-pilots here with me today. So we're going to do that. We're going to talk about the Food and Wine Festival now that it has officially kicked off. We're also going to talk about my night one experience at Halloween Horror Nights. Before we do any of that, we've got to dive into the news. That's right, Dreamers! The Monorail crew is here with another round of Central Florida theme park headlines, and we are going to go with Walt Disney World news to start with because that's our roots. That's how we started. We were Walt Disney World Podcast. Now we're an everything podcast. But yes, Food and Wine is back. It kicked off officially on August 29th, and it will run through November 23rd of this year. There are there's over 30. I think there's 33 food booths this year, and you can travel the world in a culinary. You ever heard people say culinary? In a culinary way.
No, never until today. It's almost like you
let your taste buds.
That word. Yeah.
Made that up.
No, there are people that say culinary. Just like I say charcuterie versus charcuterie. Right?
Wait, hold on. So we have Food and Wine, right? And
we do have Food and Wine.
You know what I realized? Well, I texted Justin this, but there's the little festival is gonna go on while I'm there.
That's
and
true.
Got some Disney days.
Yep, that's right.
So I think it's time for a monorail food. I don't know what we're calling it. I'll workshop it. Foodie thing.
A monorail foodie thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
a monorail.
It'll be our first opportunity to do that. Yeah, we'll figure something out by the time she gets here. We've got a couple weeks. But yeah, we absolutely should do that. And I think we'll probably create a little content that we'll post on the social medias, maybe on the TikTok.
Don't tempt me with a good time. Don't tell. That's all I gotta say.
We're gonna do it. You know, the Food and Wine is great, of course, at the International Food and Wine Festival. But don't forget, another thing you can enjoy is the Eat to the Beat concert series. As we're going into September, I just thought I might mention some of the acts that you could possibly see. And this is free. It's included. Unlike the Food and Wine, the music is included in your ticket to Epcot. You do have to buy your food and wine separately. But going into September, I mean, this weekend, Labor Day, you're kicking it off right. If you happen to be there today, Monday, you're listening to Sugar Ray. Doesn't get much better than that. Then we've got the Finesse Party Band, September 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Hoobastank, the 6th and the 7th.
They got the stank.
Yellow Card. Yeah, that's right.
I like Hoobastank, like 2 songs. And I saw Yellow Card in concert, actually, here.
Well, you could see them again. They're here for my birthday, September 8th and 9th. The 10th, 11th, and 12th, we'll have the Hooligans, September 13th and 14th. Tiffany, I think she lives nearby, and she does this kind of stuff all the time. Mercy Me, September 15th and 16th. Foreigner's Journey, September 17th, 18th, and 19th. Is that like a combo of Foreigner and Journey?
I was about to ask, or is that like an 80s like tribute band that focuses in on Foreigner and Journey?
Journey, though.
Yeah. They must just be a tribute.
Yeah, because I feel like looking at the way this website is laid out, it's like the big acts like Tiffany and Yellow Card and Hoobastank and Sugar Ray, they have pictures of the band, and then some of the lesser bands, they just have a stock image, and Foreigner's Journey has the stock image. So I feel like if it was Foreigner and Journey, we'd probably have a picture of at least one of those bands.
Yeah, it's a tribute to Foreigner and Journey featuring Rudy Cardenas from American Idol.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
All
okay.
Right.
For that, throwback.
Bringing in the American Idol name. All right. Sheila E., September 20th and 21st. The Wanted, September 22nd and 23rd.
I want to see that.
Diane Diaz or Dian Diaz. It might be Diane. I don't know. September 24th, 25th, 26th. Luis Figueroa on the 27th. Ma E. Ricky, on September 28th and 29th, and then Jesse and Joy on September 30th. So lots to see, lots to hear, I guess, in September. These concerts.
Who's not here?
Who's not here?
Simple Plan. But you know who I'm seeing tonight?
Simple Plan.
Yeah. I'm seeing Simple Plan and Avril Lavigne tonight.
Amazing.
But usually they play Eat to the Beat, and I looked at the other months and they're not even on here. I wonder if Yellow Card and We the Kings like replace them while they're on tour.
Yeah. I think that's good. But looking ahead to November, we're finishing strong. Smash Mouth November 15th and 16th, and then 98 Degrees on the 17th and 18th.
Wait.
Yes.
It's going to be 98 degrees in November? Oh, my God.
It's Orlando.
Yeah, the lead singer.
That's Orlando. Never mind. Yeah, the lead.
Yes.
Okay. They replaced with a
passed
new
away.
lead vocalist, Zach Good. Okay, I was like, wait. Interesting.
And I haven't heard Zach Good, but I'll say this. The lead singer of Smash Mouth that passed away, he had a very distinct voice.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be odd to hear anybody else sing those songs, for me anyway.
Wrong park, too. Disrespectful to the DreamWorks name.
Yeah, uh-huh.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's like, y'all know Shrek ain't here, right? Okay, just as long as you know. And Stephers, you may be disappointed that Paramore isn't here, but on November 10th and 11th, there's Parmalee. So, there's that. That's the same thing, right?
Well, I did see Paramore opening up for Taylor Swift, so don't stress.
That's an interesting
Parmalee
team up.
will
You say Parmalipa? that's like Dua Lipa doing a concert in Italy.
I also believe what is it? Parmalee is a type of cheese you can get on your pizza in the Italian pavilion in Epcot. So,
yep, your joke was better than mine.
Watch them be like a heavy metal band.
Yeah, that would be great. I want to see you open the pit and eat to the beats, baby. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, it's an American country music band. Okay, not as.
Oh well.
So we're not going to see a wall of death at Epcot.
Not this time anyway.
So maybe next year they'll get like Lamb of God or something. That would be awesome.
Those shows happen 3 times a day for those concerts, and they're in the American Gardens Theater. Check your show times. Things can change, and I don't know that bands always do 3 shows, but I think that's the typical schedule. So make sure that you're checking your app, because they'll have the show times in the app, in the My Disney Experience app. But yeah, and usually you don't have to go too early unless it's some of the big names if you want good seating. And I like to cruise through the America Pavilion and just sort of check out a couple songs, like standing behind the crowd. But you could always do they do the dining package where you get preferred seating. So you can always do that too if it's somebody you really want to see. You pay for your meal, like go to a place like I think they probably do it at like Chefs de France and Coral Reef, and some of I think you can do it at Garden Grill.
Yeah.
And then you get preferred seating, so you don't have to line up so early. And for the big names.
Didn't they start doing like same day preferred seating dining packages for Regal Eagle? Did I make that up?
They may. I don't know that you could be right. I'm not sure.
But again, the caveat, if I remember correctly, that is same day only on the option for Regal Eagle.
Yeah. Maybe that's for the lesser in demand acts or something. Yeah. They do that if they have some extra seating. But might be something to look into, so check that out. But of course, the real headliner at Epcot's Food and Wine is the food and the wine. And like I said, there is no shortage of options. One of the things that I always recommend if you're going to do this is, however much you intend to spend, whatever your budget is, get one of those gift cards when you get to Epcot, because not only is it like a smart way to budget and make sure you don't overspend, because it's very easy to do that once you start going booth to booth, but you also get a nice little keepsake. They have like a stretchy wristband that you get to keep your gift card on, and they have really nice cute designs on them with Chef Mickey serving up some meals, and Chef Minnie as well. So you can grab one of those. It's a good way to kind of make sure you're being responsible with your spending. But there's so many booths to cover. I didn't necessarily want to go booth to booth, but just as we scroll through here, was there anything that really jumped off the page, Stephers, Landon, that you're like, ooh, I'd want to circle that and try to give that a try as I made my way around World Showcase and World
Here's
Celebration?
the thing.
Oh, go ahead, Stephers.
Mac and cheese.
We were going to the exact same place. It's the first one on the list. It's new. It's in the Communicore Hall location. They got fancy mac and cheese, y'all. They got your traditional mac and cheese with just panko on it. Then they got cheesesteak mac and cheese with shaved beef, peppers, and onions with breadcrumbs. This is what raised the Daz's eyebrows. Truffle mac and cheese. And then if you want a plant-based option, they have Impossible Chili mac and cheese with sour cream and cheddar. So, but it's like mac and cheese is getting the spotlight, and it's getting a what do the kids say? An up glow. Stephers, do kids still say that? I'm going to take your silence.
I don't even want to entertain. No, does it sound like up glow is the correct term?
I'm going to go with yes.
Like in what world?
It is.
You need an up glow up your nose. Anyway,
glow up your nose.
What now?
Wait, there's more though. Did y'all? Well, you haven't scrolled down, but
I'm scrolling.
You could have your truffle mac and cheese with a side of peanut butter and jelly sticky wings.
Oh, they're back.
Yeah,
Justin, we might need to try that actually.
Yeah, so you're already at the Brewing lab down there.
Yeah, like the rest of it, sounds good, but like,
it seems like stuff you could get elsewhere. It's like the kielbasa and potato pierogies could be good. Once again in the Communicore Hall.
So as an update on the Brewing Lab, when this foodie guide first dropped, I expressed some concern because it doesn't mention the Muppets at all. However, now that it's open, it is still the Muppets Brewing Lab. And actually on opening day, they had like a photo op where there was a Muppets, like it was like a lab table and you could get your picture. It's already gone. I think people are like climbing on it and so they already removed it. So that photo op is gone.
This is why we can't.
So thanks for ruining things, everybody.
But I am glad that the Muppets have returned to the Brewing Lab, and I saw some pretty cool merch for it. That I know if my mom is listening to this, first of all, hi mom. She's going to roll her eyes and probably kick my ass the next time she sees me.
Hi mom.
There's at least one T-shirt that I'm getting while we're down there that's available in that merch area that I thought was pretty cool, featuring the Muppets for Food and Wine.
Yeah, I saw that. I had my eyes on that as well. It looks pretty cool. It's got a nice green, like almost a lab assistant color to it. It's got a pocket on the front, like not a real pocket, but
like printed on
a faux pocket.
So,
and then
how do we feel about seafood from booths? Because
I thought the same thing. I was like, seafood, yum. Ooh,
right?
In a booth?
Yeah, because Coastal Eats menu near Mission Space, they got roasted warm water lobster tail with garlic butter and jumbo shrimp cocktail with cocktail sauce. Both of those sound great, and both of the pictures look amazing. But then, to me and Stepher's point, it's like, oh, you're getting seafood from a booth?
Well, I will say that I have had that lobster tail before and the jumbo shrimp, and I have survived. I survived to tail the tail.
The lobster tail.
But yeah, the lobster tail. Yeah. I thought it was good. I mean, it is. I get your point. I think if it were like raw oysters, I might hesitate.
No, thank you.
Yeah. But in this case, I think it's safe.
Okay, all right.
I've had them. I survived. Yeah. But right under that, by the way, I want to say I'm excited to see the fry basket return. I always love to get the fry flight. It's so good. You get a little bit of all the fries. So you get the truffle parmesan, the barbecue bacon, and the sweet potato casserole fries. All really good. I highly recommend trying the flight. Who doesn't love a flight of French fries?
Amen. I didn't even know you could get flights of French fries, but that sounds awesome. And your boy loves him some truffle parmesan fries, so there is that.
Oh,
it's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, one of my favorites.
I will be cheating on my diet on this trip.
We're going to need to, maybe go through this and star some stuff, Justin, so that we can divide and conquer.
Yeah.
Because if not, our wallets will be empty and our stomachs will be not empty.
Overflowing. Exploding.
But speaking of things, are we how do we feel about this pickle milkshake?
Well, I had it last year and I liked it. I think it's good. It's not like, it isn't like drinking a pickle. It's vanilla with like some dill flavor is essentially what you're getting. And I thought it was refreshing and nice. I had it as a side to my unnecessarily hot wings last year, and I thought it was good. It also helped put out the flames. So
yeah, but as somebody who does not like pickles, that does not move the needle for me. So
it looks cooler than it tastes, I'll be honest. Like and if they present it right, you've got that cool little, it's a plastic jar, but that's like a keepsake from the Brewing lab. It has a nice green color to it. Mine, I was waiting on some other food, and by the time my unnecessarily hot wings, by the time I got everything, my whipped cream had started to like turn into just a liquid on top, and I was like, oh well, now I can't. I wanted to be an Instagram influencer, and I couldn't take a picture.
Got to do it for the gram.
Yeah,
do it for the gram, do it for the talk, do it for the Vine.
I was doing it for the.
I don't think
wait, is Vine back?
No, that's TikTok.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
I tried,
but I appreciate that joke. I feel like Captain America. I got that reference. Looking at the Mexico menu, a new item they have: flauta de barbacoa. That looks great. Fried tortillas filled with barbacoa beef with salsa verde, crema mexicana, and queso fresco. So maybe hold the queso fresco for me, but the rest of that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's the Mexico Pavilion's always a hit, and by the way, it always has a long line.
It always does, yes.
So,
so rope drop that.
I would recommend,
that's what we're saying. Forget frozen, rope drop the Mexico food.
Yeah, I mean it's right there. So like when you go across the causeway to World Showcase, like just hang a left and get in that line first if you're planning on hitting multiple booths, because it does tend to have, or at least get a drink and then get in line because it'll take a minute.
And they have, and they do have a couple new drink options as well.
Oh, a couple margaritas. Mm-hmm. I have some words about margaritas from Halloween Horror Nights. Just wait till we get there.
Oh, so you had a couple margs at the HHN?
Well, I had one specifically.
Ooh, okay. Was it in a Blinky cup?
No, well,
okay,
yes,
all right. Well,
but
it has to be in a Blinky
standard.
Cup. That's the law. Even I know that.
Yeah. I want to say this, like, as a fan of Indian food, I love Indian food. I have given the Indian booth multiple chances at Food and Wine, and I'm never impressed with it. I think because I like my Indian food to be very spicy and very pungent and very flavorful, and I tend to think that what they give you at Food and Wine is bland, and probably because they're trying to have more mass appeal to it. But I'm always like, man, mess me up with that seasoning. I don't care.
Spice.
I love it. Yeah.
Messed me up with that
Make
seasoning.
it like Dune and let the spice flow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you haven't done it before, the Alps is back. It's near Germany. You can get that warm raclette cheese that they scrape it. They torch it, and then they scrape it on top of, like, you can do the one with the Alpine ham, the potatoes, the cornichons and baguette.
What are you saying?
I don't know, Stephers. Yeah. Or the one with it doesn't matter. They also have dark chocolate fondue.
Ooh, all that sounds great.
Yeah. I recommend
There's something
it.
that sounds better.
What's that?
Y'all know how I feel about a funnel cake. They got a tiramisu funnel cake.
Oh,
yeah.
There is legitimately a tiramisu on top of this funnel cake.
I didn't know you could do that.
You probably shouldn't do that. You probably get some sort of sugar coma from looking at it, smelling it. I don't know. I want it though.
So, Steffers, you're a sucker for funnel cakes. I am a sucker for, like, blackened octopus. I love it. I didn't even realize in Spain, speaking of seafood, you can get a food booth. Paella negra, squid ink rice with shrimp, bay scallops, and octopus served with garlic aioli. That's a new item.
Wow.
I'm circling that 3 times. I'm getting that 3 times. That sounds so good.
There. Wow. Well, and
yeah, that sounds so
going
good.
Back to something you said or attempted to say, Jay, Spanish charcuterie board is a new item on the Spain menu as well.
Yeah. I want to mention Italy real quick because Italy is always another one that sort of disappoints. And I think they've tried to reinvent the Food and Wine booth at Italy multiple times. They did it again this year. All 3 food items are new. Have you all seen people taking pictures or putting it on social media, the Italian style nachos?
Yeah, I have not. Italian style nachos.
So bad.
Wow.
They look so bad.
Okay, so
they tried.
It's homemade beef, then pasta chips, tomato sauce, dried ricotta cheese. It's like, okay, it doesn't sound bad.
But look at
the chips.
Look at that picture. It doesn't look like that.
No, it doesn't not.
Yep. No. It will not look like that when you get it. It hasn't. I'll just tell you, it looks very different and not good.
Well, then maybe go with the other new option, beef meatballs, rosemary.
You ain't gonna catch me at that Italian booth.
And then pomodoro sauce. I don't know what that is, but apparently it'll look more edible than Italian style nachos.
Yeah. Don't do the Italian nachos. Skip that. Instead, go to Japan and try a couple of those new items. Did you see that, Stephers?
Yeah, I was thinking we should try that.
Yeah, there's a couple things I want there. They've got a Wagyu tamaki sushi.
Why not?
Why not?
You go to Food and Wine. I have some Tide wipes. We'll be okay.
Don't wear a white shirt to Food and Wine. Because you're gonna get sauce on you. I will. I know I
sauced.
I'm just gonna wear my leggings with my cute little top and call it a day. That's what I do.
Well, I think I'll do that.
There you go.
Stephers.
Perfect.
That's a good
You
point.
should wear a crop top. This is a petition for Justin to wear a crop top.
That'll never happen.
You could be matchy-matchy.
Unless somehow by by September 20th, I've got a 6-pack. That's not happening.
Well, I can go get a 6-pack in the next 20 minutes, dude. It's not that hard. You just have to show an ID. Also, I can't believe y'all skipped over Flavors of America. They got hot dogs, y'all. Because what says America more than hot dogs?
You see, they're trying to be artisan though with these the buns. They're literally like lobster roll buns. What are y'all doing? It's a hot dog. Put the Wait, I can't say that. This is a family show.
I don't need it in a lobster roll. I need
put it in the normal bun.
But you say they're trying to go artisan with the buns. I mean, they're going artisan with their dogs. You got New York style, Chicago style, Carolina style. I didn't know that was a thing. Nor did I know that Southwest style was a thing. I think Disney's just making stuff up at this point.
Probably.
It's a Newport style hot dog. Comes with the thing, a Skull and Mountain Dew.
But they have Wicked beer, which is from North Carolina.
Okay, all right. So you could get a Carolina beer with your Carolina dog, which, by the way, Carolina style all beef hot dog comes with chili, coleslaw, and yellow mustard.
It's the coleslaw, but like there's 2 different ways to make coleslaw, so it's really which way are they going to do it, and is it actually the Carolina way? Anyway, that's besides semantics.
I think this is important. It would have to if it's not the Carolina coleslaw, it's not a Carolina dog. And you know what? I
just work here.
I stick to that. But I mean, as always, there's so much to go through here. I think it's very important to go in with a plan. If you plan to go to Food and Wine, then you need to think through your attack plan for the food booths. Circle the things you want. Again, the gift card's a good idea. Make a list.
Check it twice.
Find out which booths are going to be naughty or nice, because the monorails are coming to town.
I also would balance drinks and food. Also, if you were thinking of making a reservation for a sit down, maybe don't and do the booths instead. If you have a lot you want to get through, I made the mistake of doing Food and Wine, but then I also had to sit down, and I was like, I could have just eaten.
Yeah.
Just do that. It's
or on the flip side, if you have a sit down reservation at a place you really like, maybe get 2 or 3 things you really want to try, and don't go hog wild on food. Like, for example, on the trip that I'm taking next week down to Disney, on both of our Epcot days, me and Smoking Hot Girlfriend, we have Topolino reservations. We both love Topolino, and Topolino does carry a price tag. So maybe we're not going to drop a bunch of Disney dollary-doos on stuff at the booths. We'll get a couple things to eat throughout the day, but we're not going to spend $125 on food and then turn around and be like, I would like this this $55 plate of sole, please.
There's a lamb chop with mint pesto. Sorry, I'm
where's
hungry.
that at?
I was holding back a
Australia.
sneeze.
Yeah, I figured.
I apologize.
Bless you.
Oh, and
Australia.
okay, all right. And then it's like we've talked about some of the new offerings. Like some of the standard classics are still going to be offered. It's like if you like what Canada does every year for every food festival, they got the filet and mushrooms and the cheddar cheese and bacon soup, both of which are very good, by the way.
Yeah, always great.
You can get a taste of Le Cellier without Le Cellier prices. So,
Justin, if you go to Epcot prior to my arrival, which I'm sure you will, please grab an extra or two little bookie for us.
Passport. That's something I was going to say. I always grab those passports because that's how I like to sort of like track my progress. Plus, you can get stamps if you do Emile's Fromage Montage.
That's fun to say.
So you go to the different booths, you get some of the items listed, and then you can get a reward at the end for buying all those cheesy items.
Isn't it a sticker or a cookie or a?
It's something. Yeah, it's something like a sticker. Yeah, it's not a very valuable gift, but it's something nonetheless. I also wanted to mention while you're talking about the passports this year that you can also pick up a Fun for Families with Kids guide, which has some things listed because Food and Wine and Epcot is not just for the adults. It's a lot for the adults, but there are fun things to do for kids, like the Remy's Ratatouille Hide and Squeak scavenger hunt. And they also mentioned the Kid Cot stops all through World Showcase. The Fun for Families guide features the DuckTales characters because you can also play that DuckTales game, which is something the kids could do on the phones if they're doing the Play Disney app while you're trying all these various foods and drinks around World Showcase. So, and then it also mentions character greetings and where you can find those characters. So a cool thing that they've added, the map is much more kid friendly, and that would be a nice little keepsake for a Epcot child, I think.
I'm excited.
Me too. I'm an Epcot.
I'm excited for this Hawaiian rice bowl in the Hawaii menu. That looks good. Spam, eggs, sauce, spicy mayonnaise.
Yeah, that does sound very good. Landon, you mentioned at the top, we've got a couple of these booths that are actually located in Communicore Hall. So I have been very much a wait and see person about Communicore Hall because I give Disney credit for selling it to us as this was going to be a festival center and it was going to be used as like a group space. And everybody lost their minds when Communicore Hall opened and they were like, really, it looks like a cafeteria. Yeah. Some people say like a college like cafeteria, or just a lobby at like a bus terminal or something. Like it's very blank, very white. Like I didn't think it was going to stay that way. I had hopes that for the festivals, this is when Communicore Hall was really going to shine. Well, it opened up along with Food and Wine this year in its festival style best. And is it possible it looks worse?
It's very underwhelming. Yeah, this looks like if you went to community college, you definitely got coffee and chicken tendies out of something very similar to this at one point in your life. Except the chicken tendies here are going to cost you a whole lot more.
Yeah, you got a merchandise opportunity. You got a couple of food booths in there. That's where you can get the fancy mac and cheese, and the festival favorites. But
the booth is called Macatizers.
Macatizers, yeah.
You know what cracks me up the most?
What's that?
About these images? It's the what are they called? Stanchions? Little it's giving boarding groups 1 to 4 is now boarding flight, whatever. And listen. I understand, like, you can see the food. It's a whole visual thing. It's interchangeable. I understand you're trying to give more and in an organized fashion or something. Listen, I'm trying so hard to, like, give them.
I don't think there's any way to sugarcoat this. It's not good.
It's not great. No,
not good.
I'm like, what? Okay, and I'm not telling people to do this. This is not recommended. This is actually you're a terrible human if you do this. But like, y'all put the merch in the middle right by the door. What's this like? There's no way they're monitoring this enough where like people can't just swipe stuff at this point. Like,
I don't recommend trying it.
Mm-mm.
Well, no, I don't either. I'm just
Monorail,
like, this isn't what I would do. Listen, I'm just like, this wouldn't be where I would put this stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's way too much going on in terms of like people trying to get food and people.
It's funny you say there's way too much going on, but I look at these pictures like there ain't anything going on.
No.
This honestly looks like if Disney took a crack at designing a DMV.
Yeah. Yes.
This is a swing and a miss.
Dang.
They tried.
Let's see. It's opportunity to sit down in air conditioning.
There is that, and I am pro AC and pro places to sit, and you are near a few booths, so you need somewhere to sit down that isn't a trash can to eat your food, which God knows how many times we've had to eat on trash cans in Epcot around the World Showcase. But yeah, this is
But it doesn't look like it's gonna.
Not great.
I don't know.
No.
I'll walk in there myself and I'll judge it, but like it doesn't seem like enough. Like other than like the decor.
Now I'm picturing you walking in there, Stephers, with your arm crossed and just judging. Just judging the whole place, shaking your head, frown on your face, and then walking
I
out.
was trying to be devil's advocate here, and y'all were like, "This ain't ish."
No, because I have defended it up until this point, and I will no longer defend it.
You defended it so much to the point that you thought other blogs and social media influencers were subtweeting you this week.
Well, because specifically Blog Mickey, which we use a lot of their articles, and we're fans of blogmickey.com. But I had retweeted the one where they said Communicore Hall had shut down to get ready for food and wine. I quote tweeted it and I said, I can't wait for it to reopen. I'm really hoping that when it does, people see why they made this space. And it's like, oh, okay, now I get it. And then I made the, butter figment joke. But when they posted their article on Twitter about what it looks like now, they were sort of like, it was in the vein of what happened, all you wait and see people. Like, this is what it is. I was like, all right.
Well, you know what they should have done, which I'm surprised they didn't. Well, there are a lot of things they could have done.
Yes.
Maybe I should stop talking. Actually, I was gonna say, like, why didn't they put like a mural on the this wall?
Yeah,
to the right?
They do anything? There's no atmosphere in there at all. That's the biggest problem. It's literally like white tile, white surfaces, white wall.
You know what they should put in here? They should put a Halloween Horror Nights house in this building.
This looks like something they set up for temporary merchandise while they're doing construction on a more permanent structure.
You know what it looks like? This is the biggest indictment I can give it. It looks like a backstage area.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Hot take, but
yeah. So anyway, sorry.
You know what, guys? I'm sure it'll look better for the next festival.
Wait and see. Just wait till
Wait and see.
Festival of the Arts. Yeah. Oh well. I'm a big fan. Like I've been very pro like the World Celebration Gardens and everything they've been doing. Although I really hope they figure out how to fix the lights, the light up ground. Because it's sad that that's not working anymore. But yeah, I can't. Anyway, there's one good thing I can say about Epcot to round this out, and that is Epcot's Forces of Nature acrobatic show is extended into 2024. I'm just proud of that. 25. It's going to be extended at least into March 25. And keep Epcot weird.
I think that's cool.
Yep.
Did we ever figure out that last Force of Nature?
Somebody told us. I don't remember what it is.
It was the friends we made along the way.
Yeah.
Honestly,
no,
tracks.
We figured it out. It's the hope that we hold out that Communicore is going to improve.
No, because then the show wouldn't have gotten extended. Anyway,
Jay, you've seen this show in person, right? Okay,
yeah,
all right,
a couple times.
Now. Yeah,
I like it. It's fun.
I'm actually looking forward to checking it out when I'm down next week. So,
yeah, it's interesting. I mean, like I said, it's weird because it's just sort of over in World Celebration Gardens, and it sticks out a little bit. Like when they're not doing it, you're like, what is this big metal globe for? But I like it. I think it's fun. And it adds a little entertainment. I love live entertainment in Epcot. That's part of, what Epcot does well.
Oh no, I just read the show notes and I don't like where this is going.
Okay. So it's time We're done with Epcot. Today was the Epcot show for Walt Disney World. We're going to move over across the Universal with Stephers. Before I get into my night one of Halloween Horror Nights thoughts, Landon, you popped an article in here for us. And can you tell me why you added this to the list? What are we talking about here?
Yeah, earlier this year, Universal debuted a new parade in the Mega Movie Parade, giving love to some of their more popular Universal movies throughout the years. And one of the highlights when we talked about it, even though I haven't seen it, I've only seen it on social and through YouTube videos, was the Jurassic Park parts of it, or rather part of it with the T-Rex puppet at the end. This week, they added a new Jurassic Park float, this time featuring a velociraptor enclosure where the raptors have quote unquote broken out, and it features a couple of velociraptor puppets as they move and look around at the audience and quote unquote interact as much as a puppet on a parade float can. And then on the float itself, it has like some Dilophosaurus. I don't believe they interact. I haven't seen anything where like maybe they spit at the audience. Didn't they have, a Jurassic Park worker on the back of the float? It's like, got to look out for the raptors. We got raptors on the loose. But I love the fact that even though this is a new addition to Universal, Universal is already updating this and adding to it. Because, again, much like the show we just talked about in Epcot, I have not seen Mega Movie Parade, but everything I've seen from it online, this is something that like I am already making note. The next time I'm in Universal, like I am going to go out of my way to see this parade because it looks just so dang cool.
It's awesome. It's great. You're going to love it, Landon. And it's because they do such a good job. Universal, you know what's happening? This has been a shift. Like Universal has been doing a great job of upping their game with Epic Universe and the things that they're adding to the parks. I used to always say that Disney had the monopoly on nostalgia, and that was like a big advantage for them. And Disney now, because they're trying to compete and upgrade and do things, is taking away some of the things that we were nostalgic for. And some of those things are going to continue to change. Universal's like starting to lean more into the nostalgia, the classic park attractions, the big IPs that everyone loves. And this parade really does a great job of like tugging on those nostalgia strings. So, man, it's an interesting little shift that's happening right now.
And I'm curious with them already adding a new float to what Mega Movie Parades had maybe 3-month run at this point, and they're already adding new additions to it. I'm curious what's next, because I think this is just a sign of things to come.
Yeah. And it wasn't a short parade to begin with. It's interesting, though. It does give you hope that they can keep, because of the style of the parade, I guess they can always change things out, improve things, add things. Like, so, Stephers.
Hear me out.
Yes.
Okay. You know how some rides you can't ride if you're pregnant or you have like motion sickness issues, or you can be like me and just ride it and like hope for the best. What if they do a mummy float?
Oh, that would be cool.
That would be fun.
Or like Men in Black, they could do that because they have all the team members wear like the suits. I know that'd be really hot, especially like during the summer. But like, they definitely have some options of what they can either interchange or switch out, because the Mummy classic, MIB classic, they updated the Jurassic Park one to include Jurassic World, so obviously they're keeping up with times. I'm just saying.
Yeah, they could do it, and people would love it.
Kong needs a float.
Yeah,
with a Kong puppet. That would be awesome.
I would be so shocked if they didn't already have that in the works. I would be so shocked.
Me too.
Yeah, they got to do it. Yeah, that'd be great.
They already got I think they focused on Bruce, but now it's Kong's time. You know?
Yeah.
Man, standing along the parade route, you get blasted by that banana breath. Oh yeah, sign me up for that.
That would be great. So. Yes, check out the Mega Movie Parade. Absolutely. Check out
like this transition.
Well, Sensational has ended. And the main reason it's ended, I'm sure it's a seasonal ending, is because Halloween Horror Nights is here now. So
whoop, whoop.
When you're closing the park at like 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock to regular guests on most days. You can't really do a sensational show. I'm sad as we transition into talking about Halloween Horror Nights. They don't have a Lagoon show this year. I'm hoping that's something they do next year for Halloween Horror Nights, and maybe they incorporate drones and stuff. That would be amazing. But no nighttime show this year other than Nightmare Fuel. But ladies and gentlemen, I did attend night 1 of Halloween Horror Nights Orlando. I did Stay and Scream specifically because Stephers has taught me the only way that you're ever going to have a chance to do the houses you want to do and get as much in as possible is take advantage of Stay and Scream. Usually you can get a couple houses in before the actual event starts, and we did. So met up with my friend Cocktail Bob. He is holding a space because I was running late in the New York area of Stay and Scream. So let me just start first by saying they've changed Stay and Scream this year.
I was going to say that.
Yeah. It's messy. It needs to be adjusted or addressed in some way, because in the past, the last couple of years since I've been going, the New York area of Stay and Scream, you would check in over by Louis, and then the section was basically all the way up to like the Mummy and Finnegan's, and it was sort of like a open. You could walk around, you could get drinks. In fact, we did like a pregame meal at Finnegan's after we got into Stay and Scream on my 40th. And then we noticed people were starting to get lined up because they opened up the lines a little bit early, and we proceeded to pick the house we wanted to do, because usually in the New York area, there's like 2 options for a house. This year, there's 3. In the New York Stay and Scream, you can go to Insidious, Ghostbusters, and A Quiet Place. The way that it works is you have to scan in to New York at Minions Cafe. And by the time I got there, it was 4 o'clock. The line just to scan in to Stay and Scream was wrapped all the way around to like the Hello Kitty store, like past Villain Con, all the way around, like towards the Bourne Stunt Spectacular.
Damn.
So, yeah. So I had to get in that line. Luckily, it moved pretty well. We got up to scan in. But then once you're in there, you have to immediately get in a line. And there's one line for Insidious and Ghostbusters, and then one line for A Quiet Place.
Wait, say that again. There's one line for 2 houses, and then one line for another.
Yes. So if you were doing, like, we wanted to do Insidious first because I heard it's the scariest house. I was like, I want to do it first. I'm going to get it. Just jump deep into the pool in the cold water. Get me in that scary house first, and then we'll be off to the races. So Bob was holding a space for us in the Insidious and Ghostbusters line. Was able to get to where he was at. Now, people were, if you had somebody with you in line, they had created the metal gates so you could kind of weave through and get to the is it 57 Fair? There's a little booth right there where you can buy drinks and some snacks and stuff. Not Halloween Horror Nights themed, but just the stuff. It sells like pizza and beers. So we grabbed a couple of beers. We got in line. It's extremely hot. There's no shade right there.
No shade.
So
what is it? Animal Kingdom?
If you're going to do Stay and Scream, extremely hot, no shade. We had heard the Insidious house opens at 5:15, and then I think Ghostbusters opens at 5:15 as well, and then Quiet Place I think was 5:30. But we were in this combined line. When they opened it up to let us get in line, the combined line split into 2. This was like at 5 o'clock. The combined line split into 2, and you picked either Ghostbusters or Insidious. So we went Insidious. We were like the 50th people in line. It was pretty cool. We were way up front. And so we ran the house. And then once we were out, the way it worked in the past was as soon as the houses were running, you exit from the first house you did. You could immediately hop in the line for the other house and do that one. This one, they had it blocked off where you had to go all the way back to like Louis. We had to walk all the way back to Louis to get in another line, that combined line for Ghostbusters and Insidious again, get all the way up the combined line to the front, and then split again to go to the Ghostbusters house and then go through that line. I don't know why they're doing it that way. And by the way, that was also the end of A Quiet Place. Like if we wanted to get in line for that, we had to go all the way back, all the way to Louis and get in the back of that line, queue to get into another queue to get into the house. I'm not sure what's happening. I don't know.
They moved the was that not the one that they moved? They moved a Stay and Scream area to next to they moved an area into it looked like a more open area, but maybe I'm thinking of the wrong one. Was it still that street?
Yeah, like the Finnegans, Louise, Mummy. Like, so once we got out of the first line and went to get back into the line to do Ghostbusters, that's the area we went to, but everything was still lined up.
Interesting.
Yeah. And the only way you knew what line you were getting in, they had team members at the end of the lines holding signs that said, this is the end of A Quiet Place. This is the end of Ghostbusters and Insidious. And we were confused because it also sort of like switched back and forth in that torture fair open area. So like we didn't know if we were in the right line for a long time. And then at a certain point, they say, okay, everybody, there's no line. Fill in all the available space. We end up like walking past people who were way ahead of us because they wouldn't do the fill in the space thing. Like it was chaos. Literally, it was chaos. It didn't make sense.
I think I want to say I think y'all were test dummies because I don't think long term that would work, especially if the house is let out at the same. Like, I know years past there are houses that like end up in the same spot, but you like broke off. Like, I don't know how else to describe it, but like there was an ability to kind of break off and do your own thing. I don't think having to walk back and forth did it. And then again, it also like in terms of Stay and Scream, it depends on what time that was. So like if they're still funneling people from Stay and Scream, like what was it to not cross path? Unclear why you had to walk all that way.
It doesn't make
doesn't
sense.
quite make sense.
And most people that were over there were like, we don't know what's happening. We don't know what line we're in. We don't know if we're in the right place. Like it was just not. It was not good. I'm just saying. And maybe it was. Maybe this was night one. But again, they did do the team member preview. They've done the
but team member previews
screen.
don't.
I know, but the other thing is they've done this event. This is the 33rd time they've done this event.
Correct, but each devil's advocate here, but also I'm validating you. Team member previews aren't they're run the same, but they're not run the same. So, like, I don't think the perfection of it all is going to be there. Also, Premium Scream Night, did you see the crowds of Premium Scream Night? I don't think anybody went
Nobody
there.
was there. Like, oh, my God.
I don't think that that's a fair judge.
I know.
We should have won.
I did watch those videos, and I was like, we messed up. We should have done that.
We should have done that.
Because all the food was included. All the food booths were not alcohol, but all the food was included. People were waiting 10 minutes all night to get in the houses. There was no line. There were no line for any house. Wow. And they were pulsing groups. So you weren't in a conga line. You were with your party going through the house. Like it would, when they said it was a premium scream, they meant it. They killed it. People loved it.
Yep.
Is this the first year that they've offered that? Sorry to ask a dumb question.
Yeah.
Okay, so just
no, that's not a dumb question. They were testing it, testing the waters.
So
yeah, people love
it. Based on the way it went. This is going to be a staple of Halloween Horror Night going forward.
I hope so.
Well,
but
I don't know if they made enough money to bring it back.
Well, number one was they didn't even sell it out. Like you could have bought tickets day of to go to it, which was kind of crazy.
So I know it was a premium event. Off the top of y'all's heads, do you remember what the premium price was for tickets?
It was like, wasn't it like $350?
$3 something.
Oof. It was like let's say $380. But for the RIP tour, you know what we're doing? Each person, just for the RIP tour, because it's 10 people, it's a private tour. The total cost was $4,000. So each one of us is like $400.
Wow.
And buy the ticket for the night. So really, it's $500 essentially a person.
Oof. Yeah, maybe y'all should have gone to that premium PP.
That's what I'm saying.
Night. Yeah.
And people said it was great. And of course, the other thing about night one, the night that I went, it was media night too. So they've got all these private media groups, which I also think it means in the houses, the lights are a little bit higher than they typically would be because media are allowed to film in the houses. So it's good and bad. Like I like to see things in the houses, but it's also a little less scary if it's lit up.
So I want to ask a question on your experience getting in and out of the Insidious / Ghostbuster line. Not to blow up your story, but
No.
there's houses that you went in multiple times. So you went in later in the night. Did your experience getting in that line the second time, was it better? Was it worse? Or was it the same as when you got in it the first time, right when you scanned in, going to that first house?
Yeah, once the event actually opened up, they cleared out all of the pre-queuing to queue stuff. So then you were just going in the line. But I will say it was a busy night. The lines got especially once it got to 10, 11 o'clock, everything was over an hour to wait.
Oof.
Some of them 90 minutes, some of them, yeah, it was long. So we weren't, and since we're doing the private RIP, we weren't intent on trying to do everything. It just so happened that we were in the right place at the right time near the end of the night where we were able to knock out a couple real quick without waiting very long. And then also there was a group that we joined for a little bit who had disability passes, and they were like, hey, you can come with us. We've got a couple spots on and that's why we were able to do Insidious twice.
Okay, all right.
Because
I was when you said later in the night, it was 60, 90-minute waits, and looking at the houses you were able to run, it's impressive y'all were able to cover that. But okay, that might explain how you just said that's how you got it in Insidious twice. So okay, all right.
Yeah. So anyway, it's so weird because it used to be, I'm nostalgic for last year. The Finnegan's New York area Stay and Scream was just so nice because it was chill. Yeah, it would get crowded and people would sort of bunch up in places. But once they opened the queues, there's plenty of room in the queues for the Stay and Scream. I don't really understand the pre-queue to queue because you're just gumming up the general walkway areas. The only thing I can figure is maybe they were just trying to make it fair. So if someone got in the Stay and Scream at 4:45, they would get a chance to get into a house at least once before someone went twice, if that makes sense. Maybe that's what they were trying to do. I don't know. I really don't know. But anyway, it is what it is. Maybe it'll get better, and maybe some of the other areas work better. I just and like I said, we before 5 o'clock or 6, before 6, we were able to do Insidious and Ghostbusters before the event officially started. So that was good, even with all the chaos. So if you listen to our Pass Holder Lounge show, we did our hype list rating, and we speculated on what was going to be the scariest house. And this was before anyone, the team member preview, any of that stuff. They were saying Insidious after those events, Premium Scream and the team member, that it was one of the scarier houses that's been at Halloween Horror Nights in a while. So I had it all hyped up in my head. I'm like, this is going to I did a bathroom break before I went in there. I had a beer before I went in there. I was like, and I was trying to make light of it. There were a couple cool guys that were standing in front of us. We were chatting with them. They were really nice. And we were just joking around, having a good time. And one of those guys was also like me. He was like, dude, I'm terrified. This is going to scare the crap out of me. I'm like, all right, I'm not alone. And so, I will say this. I think I'm either getting a little bit, not desensitized, but I'm able to manage it better. At least my, going through the house, my expectations, fear, knowing how to do it, or I overhyped it a little bit in terms of scary. It's scary. It is scary. There are very creepy moments in that house. It is packed full of jump scares and lots of scare actors, and there's stuff coming at you from above, below, all over the place. One particular thing, and you'll hear people talk about this, there's a one stretch of the house called people are calling it the corridor of curtains, and it's all these red velvet curtains.
No.
You have to go through some of them, but you don't necessarily know, are you going through the right ones? Are there monsters coming out of, what?
No, sir.
Yeah. It's intense.
How do you not run into a scare actor?
Yeah. Well, the only way for me, I just followed. I tried to stay where I could see the person in front of me, the direction they were going. And otherwise, I think if I were first, I would have gone in there and not known, where do I go? What do I do?
You're just not like, I need an adult.
That's not. Wait, so that's not like you know how, okay, if you've never been to Halloween Horror Nights, in the houses, they do have team members with that direct you, like these poor people, they have like earbuds in and they're like directing you to go. They didn't have that in that section?
Not in that section.
Ah!
No.
No, thank you. I know we're gonna do it, so I'm saying no thank you, but like I'm doing it.
And I think there's two mannequin rooms in that house.
Oh no!
Where like the room is packed full with
That sounds okay. So years and years past, I know we're talking about this year, but like years and years past, there was a house. I want to say it was the Asylum in Wonderland house, but it could have been another one. It was baby statues in the house, but then there was like a big baby. Anyway,
a big baby. Set design amazing, sound design amazing. It was like, it's very, very good, and I like the first Insidious movie is the only one I've seen, and I like that movie. But even without seeing the other ones, this is sort of like picking like highlights and references to the entire franchise. It's not like following one story.
So it's kind of like what they did with The Quiet Place.
Yeah, I think so.
Because they said the Quiet Place house is a combination of 1 and 2.
Yeah. But this is even more so like, I don't know that there's necessarily story points. It's more like, hey, remember this happened? Remember this thing?
Oh, so it's a member berries house.
Yeah.
I remember.
You get to listen to Tiptoe Through the Tulips in one of the rooms. It's good. Second house, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. One of my favorite houses I've ever done from I love this franchise and I felt like I was in the movie perspective. It was so good. There's so many highlights in that house. Yeah, there's a couple decent like scares, but it's that house I didn't think was very scary at all. It was mostly just really fun. And like one of the things I really like is when there are scare actors that are in the room, but you almost can interact with them because they're playing out like a scene that's happening in the room. And in that house, there's a couple of those like moments where I always like rooting, like when I see one of the Ghostbusters, I'm like, get him, come on, let's get him, and like I get into that. So that was a good time. Highly recommend if you're a fan of Ghostbusters, you're going to like it. And there's one very, very impressive monster that you get to see in that house. Plus, oh my God, without spoiling it, in the middle of the house, you get like the Ghostbusters facade of their like firehouse.
Yeah, I saw that on social. It looks so cool.
It is so good. It's so good. Yeah. Loved it. Slaughter Cinema 2. Ran it twice. Hold on. Yeah.
Hold on. If it's going to be a negative review, Justin.
Oh,
I'm not being negative.
She said your full name. Okay, you're in trouble.
No. I know. I'm not being negative. All I was going to say is I think I was well prepared for that house going in, knowing it was going to be like, hey, before you go in, they've got like a setup of a drive-in and they're showing clips from movies. And it's like, oh, here's the stuff you're going to see in the house. And then you walk in, it's like you're entering a cinema. Each one of the rooms is essentially one of the movie posters that you've walked into, basically.
Oh, that's cute.
And Landon, one of them you would love. There is a giant shark room and there's a puppet. The biggest shark puppet I've ever seen comes out at you, like,
that's
like
cool.
Right at you. Yeah, it's huge and it's very, very cool.
I'm gonna have to look up a video of that because my fat ass is not going to this event.
Yeah, there's full house runs posted now because of the media night. Yep. But Stephers, I want to tell you because I don't want to spoil anything about the houses. Even though this house I don't think is scary, it's really more fun and there's some like funny, silly stuff in there. Got me like one of the worst scares I had of the night was in this house. So
that makes me so happy.
Yeah, just FYI, I'm in there having a blast, having a good time, and suddenly screamed my head off. It really got me.
Do you think that's by design? Because you said you were having fun. Yes. It's lighthearted, and then all of a sudden it's like, I've come to take your soul.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well done, Universal. Bravo.
They love. That's one of the things they love doing in the house. It's like, hey, look over here. Here's something interesting to look at. Bam! From the other side, and that's exactly what happened. Again, I was interacting with a scare actor, and I was having a good time. Guard was down. It was the perfect timing.
That's your first mistake.
Perfect timing.
First mistake.
Yeah. Perfect timing. Major Suites. All I want to say about Major Suites is I felt like, well, first of all, we were in line too long for it because there was a delay. I don't know what caused it, but there was a house delay. And I don't know if we had a code brown going on in the house or what happened in there. But so not sure why. But then once we got in there, I just want to say I there's some really cool parts, but I would put it at the bottom of the ones that I ran so far. And then Goblin's Feast, I just want to say, or as Landon likes to call it,
Goblin Ding Dongs. That's its name.
Goblin Ding Dongs is different than what I expected. And that's all I'll say. Like it's good. It's fun. It's silly. It seemed a little empty to me. And maybe that was just the run I had.
I mean, like I obviously have not experienced it live, will not experience it live, but I saw some clips of Goblin Ding Dongs on Twitter. Have y'all seen the movie Goblin 2?
Yeah.
It really kind of reminded me of that, and I was not expecting that vibe.
Yeah. It's different than what I expected too, so. That one and I think the other one's the Universal Monsters House this year are in the brand new pop-up tents that they've got back behind Men in Black.
I am sorry. I don't know if that was the last house you were in. I'm very shocked that y'all didn't make a point to do the Universal Monsters House at least once.
Because not one time during the night did that line get below 90 minutes while we were there.
Shoo.
And by the time we joined up with our group that had some room for us on their disability pass, they had already done it. And
you said that's why you ran Insidious a second time. Is that why you ran Slaughter Cinema 2 a second time as well?
No, that was because we bet another random person and we were just talking to them and they hadn't done it and the line was 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
At the end of the night.
Yeah, so it's like, well, we're here, might as well. I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, so we went one more time. And it was fun. I wanted to go back in that one because like I said, it's a good fun house. So far I would rate them. I would definitely say Insidious is the scariest. Ghostbusters was the most fun for me. Slaughter Cinema. Like it may be in that order that I've got it right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that order.
And for those of you who are listening and can't see it, that would be Insidious 1, Ghostbusters 2, Slaughter Cinema 2, 3. Yeah, that makes sense. Major Suites 4, and then Goblin Ding Dong 5.
Yeah, I think so. But again, some of these houses, it's so based on your timing. Like the run that you get, did you get to see all the special effects? Did you get to see the good scares and stuff? And sometimes you don't. So I'm always willing to give these houses another shot. Because sometimes some of the actors are missing and, it makes a big difference. For scare zones, it's really funny. We totally didn't do Demon Queens or the Choose Your Fate, surreal versus
Sinister
scare zones because since we did Stay and Scream, we were already in the heart of the park, and until it was over because we closed it down, we never even went that direction. So we totally missed those two Scream zones. But Swamp of the Undead, you do get wet. They have misters going on while you go through the swamp. So it's a little moist back there. But
that was not a good use of the word.
I think
honey.
it's an appropriate use of the word, Staffer.
Stop it! You use it twice. Stop.
Moist.
Yep, it's moist. But it's cool. There's interesting, spooky scare actors, and it's a cool zone. It's very dark, very spooky, very very misty. Torture Fair is really fun. It's that to me is a highlight. The Torture Fair, there's a lot going on there, a lot of really cool interactive things to see. Inner Blumhouse is another thing that I think they're going to have to tweak because the way they have it set up, there are some roaming scare actors that walk through the area, but the ones that we all know, Megan, the Grabber, Happy Death Day, all those, they have their own spots on little stages where you can go up and it would appear to be a photo op. And I say appear to be a photo op because when we were there were people gathering to sort of line up to get a picture with Megan, and she would call people over, they'd get a picture, and then a team member comes up and is like, all right, everybody, keep it moving. We can't stop here. You got to keep moving. And wouldn't allow us to wait for a picture.
Huh. That sends mixed messages.
Yeah. So it was really kind of strange because you would think the way it's set up, it's definitely like, hey, here's one of the characters from the movie you like, come over and interact and take a picture. And then they're like, no, you got to keep moving. Because it is like it's a busy walking area. It gets packed back there. I don't know. That was odd to me, a little odd. But to balance that out, at the HHN bar, once you go behind it, there are photo op stations back there with characters. There's one from Slaughter Cinema. There's one from Goblin Feast. There's one from Major Sweets. I think there was one more, and I can't remember what it was. But you can, like when we walked up, that's what the whole point of that area is for, is to go say hi to him, get a picture. Bob and I got some good pictures back there, so that was fun. All right. Round it out with food. We all love food. I did actually make myself a Google Doc of Halloween Horror Nights foods that I want to try this year, and we knocked out a lot, like a good chunk of them already. I want to start with Slaughter Cinema too. So I had marked the summer camp dog. Now, I want to tell you all about the summer camp dog because it's just very, very interesting what you get on this hot dog. It's a deep fried hot dog. That's how they prepare it.
So it's like a corn dog?
No, it doesn't have breading on it. I guess they just put it in grease and deep fry it.
Okay.
Topped with Tostitos nacho cheese,
all right,
baked beans, pepper relish, and Doritos crumble. It was amazing. It was so good.
That does sound good.
Yeah, it was so good. Bob got that one. He let me sample it. It was very good. I got the Ropa Vieja walking taco, which is Doritos. Huh?
That's my favorite thing ever.
Yeah.
I'm listening now.
It's got Doritos, Ropa Vieja, salsa roja, lettuce, sour cream, and Monterey Jack cheese. It was also fantastic.
Ooh. Both of those,
and it's in a little Doritos
both
bag.
Both of those sound great, and I love the fact that it doesn't have, like bloody demon entrails for a name or something like that, like Halloween Horror Night food always has.
Yeah, these were not scary looking foods. Bob did get the rocks from hell, which were really just jalapeno poppers, but they just look
from hell. Thank you, and we're back.
He did, but they're just they look like little coal balls. They're just black balls, and they were jalapeno poppers. They were fine. Then I saved this one because this was very cool. So this was not just a food booth; it was an experience as well. Quiet Place, the food booth. So this is set up in that alleyway where so you order your food at one end and then you walk into the alley and you have to pick up your drinks in one place and your food another. Stephers, you might be familiar with what I'm talking about. It's the Sting Alley in New York.
Oh, okay. Look at them utilizing an alley.
Yeah. So I really wanted to try both the corn chowder and the baked beans. So we got them both. The corn chowder had creamy stew with shrimp, corn, and vegetables. Fantastic. It was so good.
Does sound good.
The Millbrook's baked beans was a cooked baked beans with mashed potatoes, cheddar cheese, and a cornbread muffin. Ooh. So I can't say anything bad. I got the baked beans. I can't say anything bad about it. I thought it was exactly what it is. Baked beans, mashed potatoes, cheddar cheese, and cornbread. It's sort of like a bland thing to eat, but it's like comfort food. It was good. I didn't expect much from the corn chowder, and I was blown away with how good it was. That was a highlight for me that night. It was amazing. So, but what I wanted to say about it, so you order your food and then you go into the alley. Once you get into the alley to pick up your drinks and your food, because we tried the Raining Blood drink as well, which is bourbon, falernum, the Kuiper cream de cassis, blackberry syrup, and lemon juice, and a hint of smoked sea salt.
And they also give you a Slayer album when you order it too. So
yeah. When you go to pick it up, everyone that's working those booths only speaks in sign language. It's totally silent in the alley.
Huh.
Because they're doing the Quiet Place thing.
That makes sense.
I know sign language. Look at me go.
So we walked up to get our drinks and they were asking to see our IDs and I didn't know what was happening. I was like, what? Because he's just signing. And then I was like, oh, IDs. And he was like, he shook his head and then he was like, shh.
She said, what?
So
I'm sure someone did.
Yeah, but that was I really liked. I hope they stick to that because I could see guests being like, it's so frustrating. I don't know what they're saying back there. I hope people don't.
Kind of like what happened to
I think they could have
Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
Well, I think a team member could be at the start of the alley and say, make sure you have your IDs ready or something.
Yeah, that would help. If you're getting a drink, have your ID out. Yeah. But otherwise, I think it's very cool. They're very quiet. And I like that they're doing that with the whole theme of the alley. That's awesome. Now, finally, the low light of the night. We went to the HHN bar and we tried the quick to die margarita. And we picked this one because both Bob and I are fans of espresso martinis. Who's not? And we're both fans of margaritas. Well, this is sort of a crossover of a margarita and a espresso martini. Imagine getting a margarita and getting espresso in it.
No, thank you. That sounds terrible. Why would
that's
you?
a choice you made?
Well, let me just tell you, it's disgusting.
It's bad.
Don't get it.
I could have told
it's
you
very
that.
gross. It's gross. It's to the point where I was finding people who wanted to try it, like friends, not strangers, but I was like, hey, you got to try this. It's disgusting. And we all agreed. We were all in agreement. It was gross.
Well, I can understand why they call it the quick to die margarita, because once you take a sip, you are praying for the sweet release of death quickly.
I know. If I hadn't, luckily it was a refill in my Blinky cup. If I hadn't paid $13.50 for that drink, I probably would have been dumping it somewhere. But I was like, we got to drink this thing. And boy, did I not enjoy it. Oh, good news though. You can this year get Lacto Cooler. It's not at the food booths as much as it was last year, but when you find like the individual carts, almost all of those have Lacto Cooler. The other thing, and Stephers, you sent this to me and I didn't try it. It's like a canned HHN cocktail. It was like cranberry vodka.
Yeah, I just thought it would be cool for us to get so we have like a collectible can, because I don't think they've ever done that before.
I've never seen it before either, so I didn't get one that night. But yeah, I'd like to.
Yeah,
try
I'd be interested to see how it is, because my experiences with canned cocktails, I'm not even going to say they're hit or miss. They're mostly miss. So.
Yeah, they're not always very good. And Landon, you'll be happy to know Dufftoberfest is back.
Yay!
Of course. Yeah,
I like some Dufftober.
That's what we've knocked out so far. Excited to go back. I think next weekend, my friend Andre from Thrills and Magic will be in town, and I'm going to meet up with him and run a few more houses, try a few more foods. I hear that the Slimer dog is really good. Surprisingly, like really, really good. So I want to try that corn dog. And we'll see. I'll try a couple other things as well. And I will report back right here on the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. Oh, and speaking of like meeting people and running into friends, I do want to give a shout out. We met a vlogger, a creator. We sat at the table with them while we were enjoying our Quiet Place food. His name was, or his channel is Average Joe Florida on YouTube. Shout out to you, Average Joe Florida. Thanks for hanging out. It was a good time. Good to meet you. And super nice guy. And he's got some good content out there. So go check out. He's doing the full report on Halloween Horror
Very
Nights.
cool. Average Joe, you are my favorite member of the Monorail fam. Okay, so Jay, you've knocked out what, half of the houses in your first night?
Yep.
Of the 5 that you have not gotten to, what is your most anticipated?
Oh, definitely Universal Monsters. Eternal Bloodlines. Yeah. I'm dying to get in there.
Yeah, dude, that's clever.
A Halloween joke.
What is your least anticipated?
I'm pretty excited about all these. So this really isn't a knock on it. It's really just my interest level. Triplets of Terror, I think, is maybe my least, but people are saying that they love that house. And so I'm hoping it's a pleasant surprise.
Okay. Very cool. All right.
So it just wasn't something that piqued my interest, but I hear it's very like 70s, 80s slasher film-esque. And I'm into that.
Well, that's what we talked about when we were previewing
it.
It gave all 3 of us Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes. So yeah.
I will say this. Just I don't know if this is a spoiler or not. I don't think it is, because I'm not going to tell you where it is or what it is. But Insidious, there's a quad scare. So 4 scare actors all at once.
Super duper. Thanks, Universal. Seek therapy. And maybe Jesus.
Yeah. Good stuff. But that is my night 1 experience. I'll be going back next weekend and I'll report more. And until then, you can follow along on all the social medias at Morning Monorail, Justin _Monorail as well. I'll post stuff on there. Check it out. But we have other things that you need to follow and watch for. Stephers,
No.
Tell us about your stuff. You still podcasting?
Yeah. Yes, I'm currently podcasting right now.
Oh,
actually.
yeah, that's true. Good point.
Oh yeah, Adventures with Stephers. Doing that. You're listening to this the day after. Well, I'm sure I'll post something else. But I'm going to see Avril Lavigne and Simple Plan in concert tonight, so
Nice.
I'll post some stuff on that. Sippin' and Bitchin', we probably will have an episode this week. Part 2 of our very probably long series. We also are hosting a book giveaway on Instagram. So go check that out and win some books.
If you're a reader, who wouldn't want to win some books?
Does this book have pictures that you're giving away?
Just the cover.
Damn, I'm out. Okay, all right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So check out Sippin' and Bitchin'. Follow Adventures with Stephers on all the things. Landon, what have you got going on?
You can follow me on Twitter, LANDOZ. Please go follow me, Landon Doan. I'm the best, Landon Doan, not the rest. That's where you can follow me, 280 characters at a time. I also inexplicably still run a website, buttmuchchips.com, buttmuchchips.
Sit on your butt and munch.
But in lieu of that, I invite you to visit the morningmonorail.com, where you can get information on Living with the Landon, which takes place on April 1st, 2025, where I, Landon Doan, am turning 40 years old and to celebrate the milestone that is that birthday. I'm heading down to Epcot, and I'm going to be marathon riding Living with the Land. And in doing so, I'm going to be getting donations from you, the lovely listener, for Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee, a charity here in East Tennessee that helps feed food challenged people in over 18 counties in the East Tennessee area. And any money raised during Living with the Landon is earmarked for the Food for Kids program. We also have merchandise where you can any money raised past cost of making the merchandise, we're talking t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, other stuff, will go directly to Second Harvest Food Bank. You can head to the website. We got a link to that. Or if you want to go to bonfire.com and search Living with the Landon, all that merch will pop up. We got a page for that as well. I've actually ordered my own merchandise. So I'm not too proud to say I bought my own merchandise. So I got a t-shirt, a hoodie, and a coffee mug on the way to the Lando condo. And we'll probably be rocking said t-shirt for Living with the Landon on April 1st, 2025. And I look forward to y'all coming along for the ride, maybe in person or at least virtually.
Yeah, I'll be rocking one of those t-shirts for sure. No doubt.
Oh, and I'm on the Phil Show, News Talk 98.7 WOKI radio station locally here in Knoxville, Tennessee, streaming 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at newstalk987.com. Also available in the iHeartRadio app and the News Talk 987 app as well. But not today because I'm off because it's Labor Day. So I don't got to get up in the middle of the night to go to work. Neat.
Yeah. So what we need to do, I'm thinking about this Living with the Landon thing, and I was thinking maybe what we do is we could create on the website, on the Morning Monorail website, if people want to do it anonymously, fine. But what we could do is like do a sign up sheet for people to let us know what they want to say is their per lap sponsorship amount, like per ride sponsorship amount. So if they could send us a message. This is an old fashioned way of doing it. You remember when you were in school and you'd go knock on the doors of people and you'd say, hey, I'm doing this marathon or this, relay race, and I'm looking for sponsors, and they'd sign up on your little sign up sheet and write $1 or something. Like maybe we set something up like that. People can give us we'll know who it is, but if they want like a display name, or if they want to do a shout out or something, we could put it on the website and then show their sponsorship.
I love that idea. That would be great. That would be perfect. Yeah, let's if we can figure out how to pull that off, let's do it.
I'll work on that.
Perfect.
This week. But get out there, do the thing, follow us, and come along and help us raise money for the kids, for them kids.
Which, by the way, September is Hunger Action Awareness Month. So even more so of a reason to donate. If you're not going to donate to Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee, I guarantee you there is an equivalent organization in your area that vastly needs your money to help food challenged people in your backyard. 1 in 7 people, at least in East Tennessee, are food challenged. 1 in 7.
That's way
That
too
is
many.
way damn too many, y'all.
Yeah, we got to help them. So we're going to try. And thank you, Landon, for putting all this together. And I thank all of you for joining us here today. Thanks for being part of the Monday Morning Monorail family. We love you so much. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, Monday Morning Monorail Podcast. You can see our lovely faces. If you follow our TikTok, you can see Stephers and I rank our Disney movies. And she's beating me in views, everybody. Her video's doing much better. But yeah, you can do that. You can follow us on Twitter, all the things. But even if you just hang out with us here every Monday on the Monday Morning Monorail Podcast, we love you for doing that. Until we talk next time, thank a team member, thank a cast member, thank a scare actor, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.